Hello, welcome. All right, so my name is Adedamola Ajayi. Okay, I like to call myself your ICAN exams paddy. Okay, so what are we here to do? Okay, so this video is to help those that have decided to go or embark on the ICAN journey. As a lecturer, I've been lecturing over years and I've been teaching and get a lot of questions. How do I register? Where do I start from? How much do I pay? What exemptions do I get? When are exams? What's the result like? How's the exam structured? So I'm going to answer all your questions in this video. So this is like a roadmap to becoming a chartered accountant in what? Nigeria. Once again, like I said, my name is Adedamola Ajayi. I'm a chartered accountant and I like calling myself your ICAN exams paddy. Okay, so welcome. Let's get down to business. Okay, so let's go. Now, have you been considering taking your accounting career or finance career further? You want to become a professional. Okay. Do you aspire to join the esteemed, and I mind is actually esteemed ranks of chartered accountants in Nigeria, respected for their expertise and what? Professionalism. Okay. All right. Becoming a chartered accountant in Nigeria is actually very prestigious. It comes to a lot of prestige. I can boldly say that at least in Nigeria, this is one of the highest, if not the highest, accounting professional certification you can get. And I'm telling you, this opens a lot of doors to exciting career opportunities, both locally and what? International. In fact, there's a limit to how far you can go in your career if you don't acquire or you don't get this what? This qualification or certification. Okay, so and that's the essence of why I want to guide you on how to start the journey. Okay, all right. So in this video, I'll be guiding you through the step-by-step process of how to register, how to basically become a chartered accountant. From the exams, I'll tell you which stage, how to write, and all those other things. Okay, so whether you're a student, a recent graduate, or a working professional looking to upskill and increase your qualification or certification, don't worry, we are together. All right, so let's go now. ICAN is one of the accountancy or professional accountancy body recognized in Nigeria. In fact, it's backed by law. So Act of Parliament number 15 in 1965 established what? The ICAN body. So it's a body that gives what? That regulates the accounting, or is a professional accounting body, and they give certificates to members who have gone through the process of what? Of writing and passing the exams, and also some other little requirements. So that's ICAN. Okay. Now, please, there are two major parts to becoming a chartered accountant in Nigeria. You can either go through one, the ATS scheme called Accounting Technician Scheme. Let me explain this very well. Now, there are two ways you can actually become a chartered accountant. One, you can start from the scratch. This is for those that are younger though. Okay, so you can start with your ATS. That's for what you call Accounting Technician Scheme. What's this? This is like a scheme used by ICAN for those that have not yet finished higher education, whether university or a polytechnic. So once you have your SSC results, you can enroll for ATS. It's called ATSWA or ATS. Okay, so it's an exam. You write 3 stages. The advantage with ATS is that once you write those stages, you move straight from those stages to professional, even if you don't have your BSc or HND yet. So that's why you can see young guys that have not finished school qualifying and getting inducted as a chartered accountant, because they use what you call accounting technician scheme. So you can go through it here. So it's for, like I said, for those that are still university or young, can actually take advantage of that. ATS is in 3 stages. You have ATS 1, 2, 3. Once you pass that, you go to professional stage, even when you don't have your HND or BSc from a recognized institution. But the another route is, you can actually, for those that have BSc, HND, or other qualifications from higher institution, tertiary institution in Nigeria, can also go through the process. So ATS is just like it's just like a platform that leapfrogs you from your SSC straight to ICAN. So SSC, you get your ATS certificate. Your ATS certificate is you to do your what? Your professional exam or professional stage. While if you have your BSc or HND, you don't have to go through ATS. You start from your what? The professional exam stage. Okay, great. Let's move on. Okay, now please, when you want to apply, the first thing you will need to do is to apply as a student member of ICAN. You have to register with ICAN, just like you want to enroll for a particular school or course. So you register with ICAN. And please, application for registration is now strictly online. Everything is done online. So I've put the link to the portal there. That's icanportal.org/professional. Okay. So that's the link to the what? That's the link to the portal. So that's where you can do your registration. So once you open that portal or you click on the link or you go to ICAN website, you would see. So they will ask you to fill a form online. You fill your basic details, your basic information, your name, the schools you attended, basic information about you. Then you'll be asked to go and pay. And the payment is online. It is done online. So you make payments. After making payments, you upload your results and then you get 1 or 2 referees to sign for you. And then after like some days or max a week or 2, ICAN will register you and give you your what after they have confirmed your results and all those other things, and then give you a registration number. So anybody that wants to start the ICAN exam, that's the first process. You have to register first. And registration is always open. You can register at any point in time. It doesn't have a specific date. It's always open. So today you can register if you want to. And I think the fee should not be more than around if I'm not sure, around with other costs, around 15 to 20,000 should finish up your whole registration process. The cost of printing, uploading, and all those things, like max between 15 or 20,000 naira should finish the whole registration process for you. Okay, all right. Now, so in order to register as a student with the institute, an applicant must hold an acceptable qualification. So we're looking at what are the qualifications you must have before you can register for professional exam. Let's look at it together. Okay. The council has accepted the following qualifications as entry requirements. 1, like I said, recognized degree of any university or higher national diploma of any what? Polytechnic. So if you have finished from either a polytechnic or university, you can what? You can use that your qualification or certification to register for what? ICAN. Register as a student in ICAN, and then you can start your studies. Okay. Then another qualification for the time being approved by the what? Approved by the council. So apart from degree, I'll show you other qualifications. If you have some other things too, you can also use that to register for what? For ICAN, apart from your BSc or your HN. So what are the other qualifications? 1, like I said, membership of accounting technician. I've explained ATS. So you see that even if you don't have BSc or HN, those that have ATS can still register for professional exams. Okay. Membership of the Institute of Accountants of England and Wales. They also can use that to register. So if you have that, you can use that in place of your BSc or HND. Okay. Membership of the Association of Certified Chartered Accountants UK. Okay. Membership of Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, okay, and CIMA. Membership of Chartered Institute of Public Finance and Accountants in UK. Okay. Membership of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Ghana. They can also use that to register for ICAN. Membership of the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants, membership of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, membership of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. So we have the one for UK, one for Nigeria. Then membership of Association of International Accountants UK. Then, of course, membership of Association of National Accountants. If you have your ANAN, you can use ANAN to register for what? For ICAN. Okay. So membership of Chartered Institute of Taxation. You can also use your CITN certification to register for what? ICAN exams. Okay. Membership of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, CIBN, is also allowed. Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, CIS, is allowed. Membership of the Institute of Chartered Economists of Nigeria is allowed. Membership of Chartered Institute of Insurance of Nigeria. Membership of Nigerian Institute of Management, membership of the Association of Accounting Technicians UK, okay, Executive Management Accountancy of the Federal Treasury Academy Stage 3 certificate. These are old certificates. The membership of other professional bodies under PAFA and what? International Federation of what? Accountants. Okay, so these are other qualifications apart from your BSc or HND that you can use to register and write ICAN exams. So that's basically that. So that's that. Now, let me say this now, please. Now, the professional examination of the institute consists of 3 stages or 3 levels. So you are going to write 3 levels. Yeah, no, there are 3 levels in your ICAN exam. So you have the foundation level, the skills level, and what? Professional level. Now, which stage you start from depends on what qualification you have. And I'm going to thoroughly explain that when you get to what you call exemption. Okay. But know that ICAN is divided into 3 stages. Professional exams is 3 stages. We have the foundation stage, we have the skill stage, and the professional stage. Let's look at them one by one. The foundation stage, you have 4 courses in foundation stage. I'm going to tell you the courses you have. You have business environment, you have financial accounting called FA, you have management accounting, and then you have commercial and business law. So those are the 4 papers that are in foundation stage. For skills, you have 6 papers in skills stage. You have financial reporting, audit, assurance and forensics, taxation, performance management, public sector accounting and finance, and then financial what? Management called FM. So those are the courses in what? In the skill stage of the exam. Then let's look at professional stage, which is the final stage. You have 5 courses in professional stage. You are going to write strategic business reporting, advanced audit and assurance, strategic financial management, and then advanced taxation and case study. So 5. So remember, 4 in foundation, 6 in skills, and 5 in what? The professional stage. Okay, now please note that exams hold twice a year. So professional exams for ICAN hold twice a year. It always holds in 3rd week in November and 3rd week in what? May. So May and November. So that means you can write twice a year. So you can write May. Let's say I write my skill stage in May. If I pass all my papers, I can go ahead and write my professional stage, professional level in November. If I clear that too, then I have passed my what exam. So the exams are held twice a year, the 3rd week of that particular month, whether May or November. Okay. Please also know that you need to acquire 36-month practical experience before you can be inducted, even after passing all your papers. It's also very important because what ICAN is doing is that ICAN does not just want accountant to chartered accountant are just theoretical or just book. So you also have to do like 36 months practical experience. You have to prove that you also have the practical experience, not just theoretical knowledge that you have written and passed your exam. So now what ICAN syllabus says is that they can accept 12 months practical experience before you started your exam, but 24 months must be completed while you are doing your what? Your exams. And the best way to go about this, like I always tell people, is that please ensure that once you are in professional, in fact, once you are in professional stage, once you log into your portal, and there's a place where you need to fill your practical experience so that it starts counting. You don't wait till you finish your exams, then have to wait another 24 months or 36 months before you start what? Before you start. So you have to tell ICAN where you are gaining the practical experience. They will ask you to fill some forms. Then, of course, there must be a chartered accountant there and some other criteria like that. So that's how that works. So please, practical experience is also pass. So it's not just passing the exam that gives you the qualification. You need to go through the practical experience too. Okay. Now, let me explain the credit system or how you pass ICAN exams. Now, candidate writing examination may register for any number of papers at a level. So you can decide, it's not compulsory. For foundation, if you have to write 4 papers, you can at each diet decide I want to write 2, I want to write 3, I want to write 4. You are allowed to write whatever number of papers you have. But please, you are expected to complete all the papers in a particular level or stage before you move on to the what? Next stage. So if I'm in foundation, I must pass all the 4 papers in foundation before I can go to skills. Same thing applies to skills before you can move on to what? Professional. And please, you cannot combine 2. You cannot write foundation and skills at the same time. You have to finish one stage before you move on to the what? It's just like your normal. You can't say you want to do, you are in 100 level, you want to do 100 and 200 level courses together. No, you finish 100 level, then move on to 200 level. So it's the same thing with ICAN. But the thing with ICAN is that you must pass all courses in that stage before you move on to the what? The next stage. Okay. Then, please, for those in professional stage, there's this clause that those in professional level must what? Must pass the qualifying exam within a period of 10 diets. That means if you start writing professional, you must pass all your 5 papers. That's the professional level, the last stage. That's all this SBR that I talked of after your skill stage. Please, you must pass it within what? Within 10 diets. That means that, and I told diets happen twice. That means within 5 years, you must pass it. So for those that are not able to pass it within 5 years, they will forfeit all the papers. So let's say it's just one paper that is holding that person. So if that person does not pass that paper within 5 years, it will start from the scratch again. They will add back all the papers. So please, it's not an infinite exam, like an exam that you can write forever. So you have to pass it, and all things being equal, it's 5 years, 10 diets is more than enough for somebody really serious to actually clear those papers. Okay. Please note the pass mark for each paper of the institute exam is 50%. So you have to get 50 and above before you are declared, or before you can be said to have passed a particular paper, clearly stated. And please, when your results come out, they will tell you your score. You will see your score for each of your papers that you write. Okay, now let's now look at the structure of the exam. How is the exam structured for all these foundation, skills, and professional? Now, each paper in foundation level shall consist of 2 sections. So, foundation, for those writing foundation or you are starting from foundation, the exam questions are going to be in 2 sections. Section A will comprise 20 compulsory multiple choice questions, and this multiple choice question will cover the whole syllabus. So to do well, you have to cover as much as the syllabus as possible. So, and the 20 questions are compulsory. You must attempt all. Okay. Then for section B, they will now give you open-ended questions. Okay. Section B shall comprise 6 open-ended questions, carrying 20 marks each, of which candidates will be required to answer what? Any 4 out of those what? Out of those questions. That's what section B would be. For section B, you have 6 questions, but you are permitted to answer any 4 of your choice. So you pick the 4 that you can answer best and you do that. So if you add 20 by 4, that's 80, plus the 20 in what? In skills pass, you get how many? You get what? You get 100 marks. And remember I told you that what's the pass mark? The pass mark for ICAN is what? Is 50%. Okay, all right. So let's continue. Okay, all right. So now let's look at the one for what? The one for skills, okay, and professional level. For skills and professional level, exams will be in 3 sections, not 2 sections. Section A, you have a 30-mark scenario based, so there's no multiple choice for skills and professional. So you just do 30 marks straight up. The first question is compulsory and it's going to be based on a scenario on the core area of the subject. So 30 marks and it's compulsory. Every student must attempt it. Then you now get your section B, where you have 3 questions of 20 marks each, and candidate will be required to attempt any 2 of their what? Any 2 of their choice. That's what section B will. So section B, 3 questions, you pick 2 out of 3 questions. Then you have section C, which is 3 questions of 15 marks each, and candidate will be required to attempt any 2 out of the what? 3 questions. And so that means you pick 2 from section B and 2 from section C, with your composite question making 5 questions. Okay, but there's a course in professional level called case study. This will be a scenario-based paper consisting of a pre-seen and unseen part, which will require candidate to write a report based on 2 requirements from the what? From the case study. Please, let's look at the time frame in the exam. Each paper will be for 3 hours. You have 3 hours to answer all what you need to answer for each paper, with additional 15 minutes reading time. So that means each paper you get how many? You get 3 hours, and then you get 15 minutes reading what? 15 minutes reading time. So they will give you that 15 minutes before you start to read and go through question, plan your answers. Then you have 3 hours to what? To answer your questions. Okay, but case study, like I said, because it's a special kind of course, they give them 4 hours, including what? Reading time. Like I said, the pass mark is 50%. Now, let's look at what does ICAN test for each of these stages that we're going to look at. For foundation, ICAN will test more of your knowledge and understanding. So if you see things like define, differentiate, what is this? So the questions will test your basic knowledge and understanding of the principles and concepts. For skills, they will test more of analysis and interpretation beyond knowledge and understanding. Now, how good are you with analyzing? And then can you interpret questions well? While for professional level, you'll be tested with more evaluation and exercise of professional judgment. So you see more of recommend, write a report, give advice. It's not just analysis and interpret. You have to be able to what? Use your professional judgment to be able to answer questions in the exam. Then please note, ICAN reserves the right to examine any topic in the syllabus at any examination diet. So please, that's ICAN. You cannot predict what will come out. They have the right to bring question as long as it is in the syllabus. You cannot hold them. They can bring from any angle of the syllabus. They have the prerogative to do that. Okay. The all new standards and laws may be examined after 6 months from the date of issue. So of course, for finance and accounting, you have a lot of laws and things that are changing. So once the laws has changed, ICAN can test it 6 months from the date of what? The issue of the new law. Now let's look at exemption guidelines. Okay. Now Remember I said initially that you start from your what? Your registration as a student. Now, when you register as a student, like I told you can use different qualifications. And those different qualifications we exempt. To exempt is that ICAN will say that because of the qualification or because you have studied, you don't have to write some courses again. So they will exempt you or ask you or give you the option of choosing not to write those courses. That's what we call what? Exemption. And we're going to look at it together. We'll look at all the exemption for each of your qualifications. So you will see your qualification as I'm speaking along, as I'm going along, you will see your qualification. I'll tell you the courses that are exempted for. Now, please, exempted for means that, for example, let's say that I have BSc in accounts and they say that I don't have to write foundation, I can start from skills. But please, because you don't have to write foundation, you still have to pay ICAN for those papers you are not writing. That's what's called exemption fee. So if you're exempted from any course, please note that after your registration, you must process your exemption by paying those fees on or very close to exams. Do you understand? So that you can now pay for exams. Okay, so let's now look at those exemptions one by one. Now, if you have a PhD in accounting with MSc in accounting and BSc in accounting, you're or guy in accounting, everything is accounting, PhD, MSc, BSc, you'll be exempted from all subjects in foundation and skills. So you start from professional level straight up. Okay, so that's that. Then if you have MSc in accounting obtained from ICAN accredited institution in addition to BSc in accounting, okay? Now let me explain this. Please, under ICAN exemption, there are two types of institutions or tertiary institutions. You have the what? You have the accredited institutions and recognized institutions. Accredited institutions are institutions that ICAN has gone, there's a body that is, or there's a they want to call it a section like that in ICAN that goes to universities, checks their curriculum, and based on that they accredit those things. That means people that finish from those schools get exemptions beyond for they get exemptions for more courses compared to schools that have not been accredited. So you also need to confirm where you finish from, if it's an accredited school or a recognized school. If it's an accredited school, you will see I'll mention accredited. That means you get more exemption. If it's a recognized school, recognized means that it's recognized by Nigerian University, NUC. Okay, so you can what? You can get some. It's just that you not get up to those that their schools are accredited. So please, on my bio on this YouTube channel, you will see the link to reach me on WhatsApp. You can reach me on WhatsApp and I will share the accredited institutions, the list of accredited. So you can check whatever school you want to use to apply, whether it is accredited or so. If you can't find the name of that school on that list, that means you are going to be what? Recognized institution. So you know which exemption applies to you. So if you have MSc from ICAN accredited institution, you will be exempted from all subjects. So you not write all the subjects in foundation, you not write financial reporting in skills and audit and assurance, but you write all the other courses apart from these ones that I've mentioned. And remember, because you are not writing those numbers, you still have to pay and process the exemption before you can use it. Okay, let's continue. All right. So now, if you have MSc in accounting obtained from ICAN accreditation but without BSc in accounting, so you can have MSc in accounting and your BSc was not in accounting, maybe a different course. So what are the exemptions you get? So you only get three exemptions, exemption for three papers in foundation, which is business environment. You won't write business environment, financial accounting, and management what? Accounting. But you will write what? You would write client and custom say client commercial and business law. So you write just one paper, which is what? Business law. Okay. If you have MSc in accounting obtained from non-accredited, now I've explained this one, in addition to BSc in any accounting related discipline. So you got MSc, but this one has not been accredited by ICAN. You only be exempted from what? Business environment, financial accounting, and business law. Okay. Now, please, if you have BSc and HND in accounting obtained under mutual cooperation agreement to tertiary institution called MCATI, you'll be exempted from all subjects in foundation and skill. Let me explain this MCATI. It's an arrangement that ICAN has with some universities or some tertiary institutions or polytechnics, where those that finish from those schools get extra privilege. Because they have an agreement with ICAN, they are exempted from all courses in foundation and skills. If you are not from those schools and you don't have the MCATI, you will start from skills if you have your BSc in accounting. But if you are from those schools, you will get what? You would get exemption from all subjects in foundation and what? And skills level. Like I said, if you also need a list of decisions under the MCTI agreement, send me a WhatsApp message using the link in the bio. Okay, then if you have ATSWA, that is 8 years. When I talk of 8 years, so if you have done 8 years, you'll be exempted from all subjects. That's from year 2010 upwards, like 2010, 2011, and so. Okay, all subjects in foundation level, you won't have to write it. You won't have to write audit and assurance, and also what? Taxation. So you write 4 papers in what? In skills, and all the papers in what? Professional. Okay, then if it's pre-2010, you have 8 years too. You will start from foundation. You write commercial and business law in foundation, but you'll be exempted from what? Business environment, financial accounting, and management accounting. Okay, let's start rounding up. Then if you have BSc HND in accounting obtained from ICAN accredited institution, this is the most common one we have in ICAN. People that have BSc or HND in accounting and you are from an ICAN accredited university or institution, okay, whether polytechnic or universities, you will be exempted from all subjects in what? Foundation, and also audit and what? Assurance. So you don't have to write all those courses. Okay. So, but you write 5 courses in skills. So you write financial reporting, you write your performance management, financial management, PSAF, and what? Taxation. Okay, let's move. Now, if you have BSc or HND in accounting obtained from recognized institution but not accredited by ICAN, so you still have BSc in accounting, just that your school is not accredited, you will start from what? From foundation. You won't start from skills, but you only write 1 course in foundation, which is what? Management accounting. So you'll be exempted from business environment, financial accounting, and business law. Okay. If you have BSc or HND in accounting or masters in accounting and finance obtained from foreign recognized institution, so but it's not from Nigeria, but it's actually a recognized institution, you'll be exempted from 3 courses in foundation, business environment, financial accounting, management accounting. So you only have to write what? Commercial and business law. Okay. Then if you have BSc in economics, you finish with BSc in economics or BSc in economics, statistics, and computer science, you will be exempted from only 1 course in foundation, which is business environment, meaning you are writing how many courses? 3 courses in foundation. BSc actuarial science, you are exempted from business environment and what? Business law. You are writing just 2 papers. BSc HND in BSc or HND in insurance, you also exempted from business environment and what? Business law. Okay. BSc or HND or BE or in business admin, management, or public administration, you're exempted from business environment and business law. You only write 2. BSc or HND in banking and finance, you're exempted from business environment and business law. Then same thing with business BSc or HND in marketing, you're also exempted from business environment and business law. Okay. MBA, MBF, in addition to BSc or HND in non-accounting discipline. So if it's non-accounting discipline, but you have your BSc or HND, you're exempted from business law and business environment. But you still write what? You still write the 2 courses, which is financial accounting and management accounting. If you have BSc education, all those that went to Tech, BTech, BSc education, or BEd business education accounting option, you start from foundation, you write your business environment and what? And financial accounting. Okay, but okay, you'll be exempted from business environment and financial, you write management accounting and what? Commercial and business law. Okay, all right. No, you'll be exempted from 3, sorry. You're exempted from business environment, financial accounting, and business law. But you write what? Management accounting. Okay. Then BEd in education management accounting option, you also be exempted from 3 papers. You only write what? Your management accounting. Okay. BEd in business education, you only be exempted from what? Business environment. BSc or BA in commerce, you be exempted from business environment and business law. BS or HND in cooperative and rural development, business environment, and business law. Those are the courses you'll be exempted from. Then for lawyers, LLB, LLM, or LLD, you'll be exempted from only what? Business. And you write the other 3 papers in foundation. Okay. Then now let's now look at for those that have professional qualifications. You have your BSc, but you also have other professional qualifications. So instead of using your BSc, you can use your professional qualification to get what? To get exemptions. You get more compared to using your BSc. Okay. So for those that they have what? ACIB, they have Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, members of CIBN. Okay. They will be exempted from all subjects in foundation level and audit and assurance. They will write 5 courses in what? In skills, and write all the courses in professional. Okay. Associate Institute of Financial Service UK, formerly Chartered Institute of Bankers in London. Okay, so they're exempted from business environment and financial accounting, but they still had the other two courses or papers in foundation. Associate Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers of Nigeria. So you have your ACIS. You'll be exempted from business management and finance, financial accounting and business law, but you still write what? Your management accounting. Okay. Associate Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators. You'll be exempted from three courses in foundation, but you still have to write what? Your MA, that's management accounting. Okay. Associate of Chartered Institute of Insurance, a member of the Chartered Institute of Insurance of Nigeria. You have what? You'll be exempted from business environment and business law, but you still have to write what? You will still have to write your skill. So you still have to have two papers in what? In foundation level. Okay. CITN, a member of Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. You'll be exempted from all subjects in foundation level and management what? Okay, also except what? Except management accounting, and you also write what? Taxation. Okay, so you write management accounting and taxation in skills. Okay, then certified national accountant of Nigeria, those that have ANA, they will be exempted from all subjects in foundation and what? And skills level. Then you have Federal Treasury Academy with effect from 1987. This they will reserve for all subjects in foundation level and audit and assurance. Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales, all levels totally, but they have to write examination of what? Experience. So they're exempted from all levels. It's like a direct, but they're still going to write what we call examination of experience. Okay. CIPFA UK, all levels except the following subjects. So business law and advanced tax in professional. Then CIMA, Chartered School of Management Accountants UK, all levels except the following subjects. So they write advanced audit and what? Assurance. Then if you have your NIM, is also allowed. You'll be exempted from business environment in what? In foundation, but you have to do the other three courses in foundation. Then ACCA, okay, UK, CPA, USA, ICAS, UK, ICA, all these professional accountancy body in UK and US, all levels except the following subjects in each of the levels. So you write business law in foundation, you write public sector accounting and finance in skills, and you write what? Advanced taxation in what? In professional. Then AIA, final with effect from 1994, or AAT UK. Okay, they'll be exempted from business environment, financial accounting, management accounting, but they write commercial and business laws in foundation. Then in skills, they'll be exempted from what? Audit and assurance. Okay. Then AIA, that's those that qualified before 1994, they will be exempted from business environment, financial accounting, and management accounting. Please, if I have not mentioned what you have, like your qualification, that means that you are starting from foundation and you are writing all papers in foundation. For example, I have BSc in microbiology, you are starting from foundation. I have HND in guidance and counseling, you are starting from what? Foundation, and you are writing all courses. Okay, so now let's look at ICAN exam fees. So how much does it cost per stage? Okay, so for foundation, if you are writing one paper 26, two papers 33, three papers 41, four papers 48. Skills, you can see the number of how much it costs there. Then professional, you can see how much it also costs. So if you're writing five papers in professional, that's around 93,870. You have to also add a little bank charges to it. Then exemption fees, how much does it cost to pay all these exemption fee I've talked about? So foundation, you have what? One paper is 22,500, two papers is 28,700, three papers. So now let's say for example I have BS or HND in accounts. How do I know how much exemption fee I'm going to pay? If I've been told that I'm exempted from all foundation courses, that means I'm paying 41,100, and I've also been exempted from audit and assurance. One paper in skill is what? 31,700. So I'll add 41,100 plus the one paper in skill 31,700. That will give me what? Around 83,400 or something like that. So that's how you do this. So you add all the papers you have. So let's say that I've been exempted from all papers in foundation and skills. So I'll add all the four papers, that's 41,100, plus the six papers in skills, which is what? 81,700 to make up my total what? Total exemption. All right. So that's it basically. So all right. So please click the subscribe channel to my YouTube channel, because I have a lot of other videos, other resources that can help you on ICAN exams, ICAN tips. I also lecture, so sometimes I put free tutorials or lecture videos there. Then I also teach and do online tutorials, private tutorials, one-on-one tutorials online. So if you're interested, like I said, just check my bio and send me a WhatsApp message and let's talk. All right. Thank you very much. Wishing you the best in your what in your ICAN journey. Thank you.